Magazine dreams, bro. Don't be shy because we're on camera. Here.
Okay.
All right, for sure. What did you think of it though?
I thought it was pretty good. As far as like, I like dramas that make me cry. But that one, it was still good. The character had good. I don't know, just like what he was going through and everything.
You didn't want to cry for him?
No.
Dude, I almost teared up a couple times.
I didn't. No.
Okay.
Well. I did feel bad for him. I think that whoever directed it made you like feel really bad for him and like what he was going through, but no, it didn't make me cry.
1 through 10.
Probably like a 7.
I give it like an 8.5. I loved that movie, dude. I thought it was really good, actually.
Yeah.
But so I do have notes. I got notes because I'm a nerd, and I had to do it to make it easier for me to talk. But all right, so themes, right? Obsession, isolation, legacy. Killian Maddox, right? He's chasing greatness. His opportunity to have his face on all the magazines. He's trying to be like a fitness influencer. He wants to be a star, but he's not, and he's poor and lives in the bad part of town where he's got to drive like 8 to 10 miles away just to go to a grocery store.
Yeah.
So he's pretty far from it, right? I thought the bodybuilding part was like really accurate, actually, to like what they actually go through, what they do, as far as like the diet tracking, the working out, religiously going past failure. He talked about. What do you think about all that?
I thought it was insightful because obviously I know a little bit of like as far as like bodybuilders and what they do and everything, but I don't know. It gives insight into like their mentality is so different than ours of like tracking your carbs, tracking your protein, like all that stuff, and just like how obsessed they are with like their physique and like how they look.
Yeah.
Like who was it? One of the judges made a comment about his deltoids, and he was just like, from then on, he was just obsessed with deltoids. He's like, I gotta make sure my deltoids look nice. Bro.
Right, he had to have them on point for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all that stuff, like, it's kind of crazy how like obsessed pros have to be with what they're doing to reach greatness. Because like, I mean, you talk about like anybody that does any sport of any kind at like a pro level, and probably like the amount of dedication it takes them to get there. I'm not a pro at like anything because I'm not putting that effort in like they are, right? But I mean, it's kind of crazy. He was up like all hours of the night. He was doing like the bike scene. He was on the bike, his little treadmill bike thing with like the trash bag over his hoodie, over other sweats and stuff, trying to sweat out, like get his water weight down. Like to the micro nutrient tracking. Like he was sitting with his grandpa. He'd make his grandpa some like soul meal, and then he'd be sitting there eating raw broccoli and like unseasoned cooked chicken.
Thing, yeah.
And all the food and calories that he's going through in like single days. Like what they were showing was kind of insane to me.
Single days, and then also seeing like him order his food, and he's like, "Oh, does that have sugar in it? I don't want that. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good."
Does the salmon glaze have sugar in it? Like, yeah, okay, it does have sugar in it.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
For anybody that hasn't seen it, so it's essentially about Killian Maddox is the main character. He's trying to be a bodybuilding pro, get his pro card, and that's like his whole driving force. The entire movie was to get his pro card. So he's going to all these mini bodybuilding shows. He's religiously in the gym, like all hours of the day. He's either at the gym or he's at his part-time job that he works, trying to get some money to pay for the gym and to pay for his food. So it's like gym, eating, work, no real time for social anything. Like he has no friends really.
He has 0 friends.
He doesn't know anybody at his job either.
Maybe he'd have more of a social life if he did have friends. Who knows?
I mean, well, yeah. The only person that he really like was able to talk to and be kind of emotionally connected to is his grandfather. Yeah. Who has raised him, which we'll kind of get into that in a little bit too. But so dude is really isolated. He's working out, trying to achieve his dreams, and it's not really successful for him. And he's super cut off from any kind of social connection, and he's kind of like mentally stunted. It feels like, right? Like throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, and even like going into like his past as far as like with his father and mother and stuff, they don't delve too deep into it, I guess, but you kind of get glimpses of it. Yeah. So it kind of makes you like wonder like what kind of impact that had on his just like emotional, mental health and all that. Yeah. Because you can tell he's a little off, you know, and his like behaviors and stuff. But I'm just like, you know, is he like autistic maybe, and that's why, or
Yeah,
is
you kind of
it some like is that just him? Like I don't know.
Yeah, they went over. I guess to me, it feels like it was explained. So you don't really know why he's messed up, why he's mentally awkward or stunted until near the like halfway point of the movie, where they explain he was forced to watch his father murder his mother in front of him, and then kill himself. So he watched his dad do murder suicide, and that's why he's actually raised by his grandfather, which to me that kind of would make sense. Like they talk about a traumatic event happening when you're a child and you get kind of like caught in that age after that. Like some people like they go through that as an experience. So to me it felt like if you're like 8 years old and then you see something that insane, like he was kind of like he did kind of have like a very simple. It was like a younger mindset like throughout the whole movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he didn't know how to talk to the girl he went on a date with. He didn't know how to talk to other people that were his age. He was lying to his therapist because he didn't, feel like he could open up or have an adult conversation with her about what was happening.
Yeah.
So that kind of like that honestly like kind of ruined him, and I feel like that also caused that like obsession, like his obsession with just being perfect.
Yeah, and the fact that maybe he does have like a lot of insecurities because he's not as big as like all these pro, bodybuilders. Again, comment about the deltoids really just ruined him. So,
Yeah, the comment about the del. So he, in his journey to achieve his pro card and do shows on one of the, we don't see the show that he was at, but on one of the past shows, one of the judges told him that his hamstrings and his deltoids were too small, and he like took that to heart though. He took that to heart. He grew his shoulders, but that follows him the whole rest of the movie. Like that was a huge source of his insecurity was like the way that people looked at him, and we saw that like where that comment obviously stuck with him throughout the movie. But when he's like in the grocery store and the customers, like the way customers will look at him, or like the way that he, and I don't know if that's a perception thing, because he is kind of like he'll be staring at people, or like the way he acts is like kind of imposing, which it would maybe offset. But I think there was, they definitely sprinkled in just some like racist white people kind of deal in that movie, and the way that people treated him didn't show him like adult respect. Like further solidified that like insecurity about who he was, and kind of like his lack of confidence in himself.
Yeah.
But anyways, as the movie moves, as it continues, so you find out that his parents it was a murder suicide deal with his parents. You get to know him more and his obsession, like his rigorous training routine. He's got like all his favorite bodybuilders plastered across like every wall in his bedroom. I mean,
idolizes them.
Yeah, idolizes them to the point where, and I didn't bring this up when we were watching, but this do you know like Stan, like Eminem's Stan song, where it's like the guy's like writing him letters throughout the whole thing. It reminded me of that because like in that song, this dude's writing him and he's like telling him about his life, and he's like, hey, like do you remember me? Like it's your biggest fan, like trying to reach out to him, which
yeah, I didn't make that connection really.
Yeah, and Killian does that the whole movie with Mike O'Hearn played Vanderhorn. So Mike O'Hearn is he's a big bodybuilder, big actor. He played this character Vanderhorn that Maddox looks up to and like idolizes. So he's like writing him these letters talking about, hey, like I'm your biggest fan. Like this has happened with me in my life. Like, are you checking your mail? You haven't answered me. Like getting like has like a person. Yeah, where you at, bro? Yeah, where you at, bro? And can't get like an answer from this guy. So that coupled with all this other stuff is he kind of goes down that mental rabbit hole of like he's alone. The person he idolizes, like he won't respond to him, right? Poor guy, dude. Like, you're right, a celebrity. They're not responding. Oh my god, like something's wrong.
It's me, Killian.
You know me, right, bro? You know me, for real. Yeah, I'm your best friend, dude. We're homies. Go way back. But he's writing the guy, not getting answers. He goes on the date with his coworker, and she's like, yo, this guy's weird because
she's scared.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my god.
How would you feel if you were in her shoes?
I'd be like, wow, I need to get out of here, and that's exactly what she did.
No, she got up and got out because he's just the whole dinner. He orders like 15 plates of food. He like covers the whole table with the meals that he's eating because he's like not gonna skip that.
And he like breaks out the whole like murder suicide with his parents, like straight off the bat.
Oh yeah, like, first thing he says during this dinner is, "So yeah, I watched my dad murder my mom and then kill himself." Like what?
Yeah, because she like made a comment about how she told her dad about the date, and he was like, "Haha, yeah, I told my dad." And she laughed. She's like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "No, I'm just kidding. Like, my dad's dead. Oh, my mother killed my mom, and then he killed himself." And she's just like,
"Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about it. Yeah. Makes a joke, segues directly into my dad murdered my mom, then killed himself." Yeah. And then proceeds. That's when he orders the food too. So the girl's got to just sit there and stew in that and be like, "Oh, this is awkward as hell. Like, what do I do?" You know.
She's like probably scared. She's like, "Oh man, he's probably got like some, obviously mental trauma from that."
Yeah. So he fumbled that bag.
He did.
Pretty hard.
Because she seemed like she might genuinely be into him, and like, she was kind of like, "Oh yeah, he's kind of cute. There's something about him. He really likes me." Yeah.
Yeah. So he could have had some game there, but fumbled it. And anyways, you move past that, right? And he just continues to destroy himself with. I mean, he's using cocaine to get like a good pump to like go and work out. So he's doing cocaine and he's shooting up testosterone, trying to max out the amount of work he can do per exercise, and just killing himself. And in his brain, he's just like, "I'm gonna do literally whatever I can to achieve this goal." Another movie. I don't think you've watched this yet, but Whiplash. Have you seen Whiplash before?
No, but you've told me about it.
Another thing, kind of like that, where. It reminded me of Whiplash in the fact that it doesn't matter like what anybody else does, like he has to achieve his goal. So I mean, like he gets like mugged, and immediately after getting absolutely whooped, like they broke his arm, they beat him with a metal pipe. He shows up to a bodybuilding competition, bloody.
Yeah. And terrifies the judges.
Terrifies everyone there. Collapses on stage. So I mean, he's destroying his body.
Oh yeah, because even before that, I mean, he was in the hospital because of his liver.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, "You need to stop doing all this, steroids, whatever, drugs. You need to stop because you literally have like tumors on your liver."
And he hit him with a hell no, because he said, "You're not putting a knife to me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Bodybuilders can't have scars, dip." So he's like, kind of just throwing it away.
Surgery.
He's going through all these he's going through all this crap. He meets his hero finally, right? Because O'Hearn calls him on the phone at the house. Yeah. And is like, "Hey, what's up, Killian?" Like, he's like, "It's Vanderhorn. You're still my biggest fan, right? Like, I'm having an event. You want to come see me? Yeah. You can come backstage, get them VIP passes." Yeah. And Killian's like, "Dude, sign me up for that, like, now." Yeah. It is a true, like, never meet your heroes moment. Yeah.
In that case, yeah, don't.
Yeah, they have. He definitely gets taken advantage of, and this is why I think still his mindset is like very stunted and very like young, because he has such like a reverence for these guys that he really thinks that everything's sweet. Like he thinks like they would never do anything to hurt him. He thinks like everyone should like he's so yearning for that respect and someone that looks at him like an equal that he kind of like puts the blinders up, right? Yeah. I mean, Vanderhorn's like, "Yeah, do you want to like touch my abs? Like you can feel if you want." It's being kind of sus. He's like, "You're my biggest fan, right?" Hits him with the age old, and then because right after that, it cuts to him waking up in bed with him. Yeah. Crazy.
And it's just like his insecurities and like his desire to like be somebody. He probably thought like, "Oh, I'm gonna meet this guy, like this, my idol, and then." He's going to open up doors for me, and he's going to really see me and, like, want to, see my potential and, like, kind of help me out. Because that's what he was asking for in the letters. Like, "Hey, man, like, I just want to sit down with you. Like, we can come up with, like, a plan, like, even if it's just, like, my diet, whatever." And I think that's kind of what he was hoping to get out of that interaction. Yeah. And he just didn't. And, he got, sexually assaulted.
Yeah, it's really that, and that was sad. Like that almost kind of made like I teared up watching that because it's like I thought the whole movie because Killian he brings up that he's an only child in the movie. He has no one like no siblings, like no one around him, and I think he looked at Vanderhorn kind of like a bigger brother, like a big brother, that he could look up to, because he's like, if you want to, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We can talk about, like you just said, diets, workout routines. He's looking at this guy as a big brother, and then you get sexually assaulted by this person that you, in his mind fantasy, look at and look up to as like a big brother figure.
Yeah.
Dude, I would, yeah. And then he spiraled like after that. That's like what, the last like 40 minutes or after that scene.
Yeah, about that. And then takes down all his posters that he had of this guy in his room, just ripped them down and stuff. And even still calls him and it's like, hey man, like, you know, can we like talk about this, whatever. He's not doesn't seem upset in the phone calls necessarily, but still like in his mind, I think he still has like an infatuation with this guy even after everything that happened.
Yeah, he still like looks up to him, which is like, it's, I don't understand how that would feel. The person you looked up to more than anybody else in the world takes advantage of you in that way, takes advantage of your, you know, lack of confidence, of you being a fan of them, sexually assaults you, does all those things to you. Because he called me, he's like, well, I don't know why you did those things to me. And that was super sad to me. That was probably the most sad part of the movie. It's like the one part, because, you know, to me, I was hoping for him, hey, maybe he'll have an actual connection with this guy. Maybe he'll actually help him get up. You know what I mean? Killian, the entire movie is just getting pooped on, getting doo-dooed on by like everyone that he meets. His boss, the girl that he was trying to date, just normal everyday people, the painters, literally the house painters that mugged him. Yeah. Now his hero. It's just, I mean, and he's at like rock bottom now, right? So that was when he started building the gun. He got a weapon.
Yeah. Got a weapon. Was like, you know, shooting it and stuff. Just doing like target practice. It seemed like. I was just like, ooh, this isn't gonna end well.
It starts to escalate, you know. Yeah. So he built that rifle. He's mentally spiraling, and then he pulls up on none other than the judge that told him his deltoids were small. He found out where this guy lived.
Somehow.
Pulled up to his crib, broke in, waiting for him in the dark with a shotgun, and then makes him strike poses, proceeds to judge him.
Yeah, because at first I was like, who is this random white man that he is just pulling up on? And then he's like, oh, you told me my deltoids were small.
So he just belittles him. He's like, you're ugly, you're small, you know, because and again, it's that, like, he wants to feel like he's the one that can look down on people. He's looked down on his whole life. People are racist to him. People don't like him because of his disposition, because of his insecurities, all this stuff. People treat him like trash. Yeah. And he wants to feel on top. He wants to feel like he is somebody because he feels like he's nobody. I was happy he didn't kill the guy. Yeah. Because I'm rooting for, you know, I was rooting for him the whole movie. Like the film does a great job of having you feel bad for this guy. No, I don't know. Did you feel that? Did you feel that way, or am I tripping?
Oh yeah, I mean, I felt bad for him, but I was just like, dude, come on, get it together. My head shakes. So now you're gonna pose,
dude. Oh my god.
Okay.
But he didn't. No. You know, for the entire movie, and just I felt really bad for him. So he doesn't shoot the guy. I felt pretty happy about that. I was like, okay, thankfully he didn't kill this dude. He's not gonna go to jail for some like crazy stuff, right? Like
that would have sucked if he did. If he would have killed him, and then the movie just would have been completely different. Yeah, I don't think it wouldn't have been the same if he would have done something like that. Yeah. You know?
So he moves on. He goes, finds out where Vanderhorn is going to be doing his next bodybuilding show at. Shows up there with his rifle, his M16 that he built in his house, and then kills him. He shoots him at his show, or so you think. It's all a dream. It was all in his head. Thank God again, because I thought that, you know, he walks up on stage while this dude is like hitting poses. I straight up thought that he was just gonna like absolutely straight out murder this guy.
Yeah, I was waiting for like, you know, some sort of, you know, scene like that where he like kills someone, because that's just what it's kind of alluding to for like the past like 30 minutes or something like that for the last bit of the movie, and I'm just like, you're just like waiting for it to happen. Yeah. And then you see that and you're like, oh man, he did it.
You literally watch him like blow this dude out of his pants on stage.
On stage in front of
people. Yeah. And then they hit you with the "it was all a dream." He snaps out of it. That was a daydream. And what he gets his brain, like, it kind of fixes itself a little bit at the end. Like, he comes to what like acceptance kind of like his situation and understanding like I can still achieve my dreams, but instead of looking down on people and making them feel small and using these drugs to get ahead, right? Like I can just be me.
Yeah.
He has that realization, no?
Yeah, I think he's like he like Googles it. He's like, how do I end up like being remembered?
Yeah.
And he's like looking at all these things that random little lists on the internet. And it's like, oh, like leave a legacy, you know, your family, like all these things. And so I think that's when he kind of like is like, oh man, I need to like actually like become somebody if I want to be remembered. And I'm not gonna be, you know, be someone if I just shoot this guy on stage.
Bro.
So he's just like, oh, I'm gonna lock in.
That's gas, yeah. That's gas.
I'm gonna become somebody.
Absolutely.
And I was like, thank goodness, Killian, because
thank God, right?
It was looking a little rough there for like the full hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. You know, oh, dude, I'm glad you remember that you brought up the Google search at the end because the last item on that list was like, be yourself unapologetically. And that it was like rule was like 10 ways to be to leave a legacy, whatever. And it's just like be yourself. And it's like I feel like I think in his brain, at this point, he the entire movie he's been acting like other bodybuilders. He's just copying what he sees them do, right? From the steroids to the cocaine use to the freaking not all bodybuilders use cocaine, but it's like that has been known to have been a thing, right? But he's doing these things that these great bodybuilders he's seen them do. Copying the way they pose, copying the way they work out, literally just copying everything. And I think when he saw that blog on the internet and it said just be yourself, I think he in his brain was just like let me try. This is the only thing I haven't tried, just being me and learning who I am.
Being me and like rooting for yourself, like not idolizing somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, like you should be your biggest like inspiration. Yeah. And I think that was like a huge scene when he like put up his camera and he was like taking shots of himself, blew it up and put himself on his wall instead of his idols.
Yes.
I was like, dude, he's ready to rock and roll.
He's ready to rock it. Yeah, he's good. He's activated. Dude, that was actually so powerful. And then it was the biggest picture on his wall too. Like he had posters, and if you notice, like the people that he talked about or idolized the most had the biggest pictures on his wall. And the biggest one on the wall at the very end is literally a picture of him. It's like him finally accepting who he is. And dude, yeah, I mean, big, like, let me be me. Let me do me. And I will be great. And he talks about, from the poor person across the world to the kings, like, he wants to be known. He will make himself known. Yeah. The only there was a couple unbelievable parts in it, though, which, like, I did not understand how he didn't have any friends. Like, when you're in the gym that much, you're that obsessed. There's other people that are going to be also that obsessed doing the thing,
Especially, like, if other big people see, big guys, like, they see another guy in the gym that's, like, kind of big or even, like, bigger than them. Like, yo, what's up, man?
Like, I respect that.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, at some, it's just, you'd think that he would have some kind of connection with someone in the gym or in that community somehow. So I thought that was a little bit, for me, kind of far-fetched. Like, I don't think that he would have been that isolated.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it did seem like he was, like, at the gym, like, at night. Like, there was nobody else in there. It was literally only him. Like, after, so maybe that's why. I mean, he would go to work and then, later in the day he would go to the gym. Because he is taking care of his grandfather, too, during the day. Yeah. So maybe that's why. Just because of the schedule, who knows.
That, fair point, though. Yeah. The second thing that I thought was a little bit unbelievable is that he's raised by his grandpa, who's actually a great guy. He's like a Vietnam vet, but doesn't have PTSD, isn't crazy, is not abusive. Like, he's encouraging him the whole movie. He's like, dude, and maybe they did this I think they maybe did this on purpose, actually, now I'm thinking about it. But every time Killian is, like, down on himself or something, you hear his grandfather, he's like, I'm already proud of you. His grandfather was, like, that available to him and, like, wanting to be there for him. And there wasn't really a relationship till the end of the movie when he finally kind of like bears himself and it's just like breaks down in front of his grandfather after everything had happened, and he breaks down in front of his grandfather and like hugs him, and that's like the only time in the movie that you get to really see him open and just express how he's actually feeling. But Those things might have been on purpose, just to kind of further drive like his isolation story, like his hey, this guy is alone. This guy is like really going through it by himself, and it's like that self discovery of like who am I and how can I be great.
Yeah.
But either way, dude, Jonathan Majors, that was great. The actor that played Killian,
yeah,
fire.
He did a good job.
He was the movie came out in 2023. He at the time when the movie was supposed to come out, he got hit with like domestic violence charges. He assaulted his ex girlfriend. Mm-hmm. He was put on parole, and he got dropped by like everybody because he was supposed to be a big character in Marvel. He's gonna be King the Conqueror. He got dropped by them because of that. And then at that same time, like literally when all that stuff's happening, this movie gets released. I think it's a shame because like this, like out of what I've seen him in, was like the strongest. Like this is his strongest role by far. Like he could have won some awards off this. Yeah. But it all happened at the same time. The movie was kind of swept under the rug. I don't even think it premiered in movie theaters.
I was about to say I'd never even heard of it.
No.
Prior to this, I had no idea this movie existed.
Yeah, I mean, and I know a lot of people who didn't hear about it until at least like a year later. Where they're just like, oh, there's this new movie that came out, and then when you look it up, it's not. It's like a year-old movie that's just now available for streaming. So it's super unfortunate that it didn't get as big as I think it could have been.
Because this is really like, and I think that I'm aware of, like the only like bodybuilding type of movie that I've ever seen. I don't know.
Yeah, like
I don't know if there's very many out there.
Aside from like documentaries,
I was going to say documentaries of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, whatever.
Stuff like that. Because there's big documentaries, and then I've never, like to your point, like I haven't personally seen any other movies that were like this. Yeah. In that bodybuilding scene, and that allowed you to get a view of like what that looks like. I haven't seen it as well, so I think it could have been a lot bigger. I thought it was really, really good. I thought there was a lot of great concepts in it, themes in it. I thought the visuals were fantastic, the way they shot everything. Those up close shots with the vivid colors that kind of draw you in, and it makes it feel more stressful. Jonathan Majors was great. I thought all the actors were actually really, really great, to be honest. I didn't have a problem with any of them. Yeah. But, yeah. So, 8.5. What'd you give it?
I give it a 7.
Crazy.
Yeah. It was so good, though.
Crazy. Yeah. Good, though.
But I need tears to flow.
Yeah. Tears to flow. Okay. But yeah. Overall, good movie. Go watch it.